Hello, this is Louis Condrick. Welcome to the Peas. Plants, poetry, people and places, and prayer. Let me just start off to tell you a little bit. In the future, my plant part of my program will include forest, hedges, lawn care, laying out sod, rhododendrons, palms, azaleas, oak trees, maple trees, aquatic plants, conifers and evergreens, ornamental trees, ornamental plants, bulbs, corbs, tubers, rhizomes, stolons, ground covers, holiday plants, philodendron, privacy garden, gardens of color, California Island, composting, cacti, succulents, ficus trees, holiday plants, naturescape, insects on plants, disease on plants, and vegetables and herb garden. So please look forward to my other programs. Today we're going to talk about the dogwood. Small species of family of trees. They grow abundantly throughout North America. They're small ornamental trees. They're deciduous, meaning their leaves drop in the fall, in the winter. Its flowers are produced in clusters on the plant. You have the Cornus cusa, which is Japanese dogwood. You have the Cornus mas, Cornelia cherry. Japanese dogwoods and American dogwoods are very similar. Japanese dogwoods flower later, 2 to 3 weeks later. Cornelia cherry, early bloomers. You get yellow flowers, but most common are white and pink are the flowers. They get little red cherries off the plant. These cherries are many times are eaten by raccoons, squirrels, and the deer. They eat the leaves. Now, a common insect that attack the plant is a borer. A borer is a larvae for beetles and moths. In other words, it's going to be the larvae will produce a moth or produce a beetle down. Bark beetles are part that come from borers. Bark beetles attack trees. They attacked actually a Dutch elm tree years ago, almost extinguished the whole tree from North America. Now, to control borers, you could use a chemical pyrethroid, Pyrethroid. You could spray that chemical inside into the tree, into where you see the holes that kill the larvae. Inspect the tree for borers. Look at the bottom of the plant. Look for wood shavings on the ground. Look for little small holes towards the base of the plant. This is where the larvae enter. If you suspect your plant has borers, usually one side of the plant will die. The leaves will wither away and just fall off the tree. You can see them as they droop, the leaves of one side. The other side will look good because the larvae, the borers, will eat one side at a time. Now, dogwoods need well-drained soil. I always said it's the soil, sunlight, and airflow conditions of a plant, surrounding a plant, which kill it, not the plant itself. There's all types of dogwood. Let me read some off to you. Pacific dogwood, rough leaf dogwood, brown dogwood, stiff Cornell dogwood, red osier dogwood, alternate leaf dogwood, just to give you a few, and there's your common North American yellow and whites, which most people do get. Now, uh, like I said, when it comes to the dogwoods, the bores and the soil conditions, make sure you have good drainage soil. What you want to do is add peat moss to your soil. Peat moss is an additive to soil which neutralizes soil, doesn't make it too sandy, doesn't make it too clay. It makes it more loam conditions. Loam is the perfect type of soil you want. Now, I'm going to read you a poem. It's called As the Dog Cried. You notice I go from dogwood to As the Dog Cried. As the dog cried, she would yell. As the dog cried, she felt like she was in hell. As the dog cried, tears came to her eyes. As the dog cried, she couldn't stand, she couldn't rise. As the dog cried, she looked for a friend. As the dog cried, she thought of the end. As the dog cried, she looked for a way to eat. As the dog cried, she just wanted a treat. As the dog cried, her happiness was stolen by a thief. As the dog cried, her sad eyes looked for relief. As the dog cried, she was finally going to the vet. As the dog cried, her excitement the floor she did wet. As the dog cried, she entered a new home. As the dog cried, she had happiness and a new yard to roam. As the dog cried, she had happiness and a new life for many years. As the dog cried, her eyes showed happiness and love in her tears. This brings me to my third part today about people and places. Let me explain something to you. I'm talking about people that torture animals. All right? That's why I wrote that poem. I wrote that poem about a week ago from seeing all these tortured animals on YouTube. People who torture and kill animals, you're going to hell. All right? There ain't no deal later on. No doubt about it. You're going down. The elevator's going down for you. God created the food chain. He understands we have to kill animals to eat. There's nothing wrong with that. It's torturing and maiming animals and killing animals for enjoyment. That's where you're a little sick. All right. People that torture cats with bats in a bag, people that throw dogs in a bag on main streets so they get run over. You're sick. You're sick now and you're going to hell later. So it's a combination. All right. People that do this, you need to invest in suntan lotion and plenty of bottled water. You're going to need it. You may not, you're probably going to run out of water. And there's no ocean or lake down there. So good luck. Enjoy the heat. But look at it this way. You won't get sick from the cold. When God told Moses through the Ten Commandments, thou shalt not kill, it never said, thou shalt not kill people. He said, thou shalt not kill, period. So you go and torture animals now, you're going to hell. And when you die, there's no deal. You better make up to God, go pray to God to forgive you for anything you do. And you better go out and treat animals right. By the way, all the deer, all the animals, wild animals, they got nowhere to go. We live in a society that's got to build all these strip malls. Can't anybody understand that you could put a store on top of a store, on top of another store to go up an escalator, an elevator, and have one strip mall? go up instead of out. You always go out and just take all the land and take it away from all the animals, and that's not good. We could have stores, we could have things. We just have to do them smart. You know, isn't me or the politicians? They're just idiots. I wonder sometimes. Here's my prayer, my closing prayer. Good Lord, enlighten people of the earth, of all its creatures. Educate people. Protect the helpless creatures from torture and from death. Make us better in our hearts, our mind, and our souls. Make us more loving people, not the way we are sometimes. Amen, and God bless. Thank you.